Welcome to my Build a Badge workshop. I'm going to take you through the process of building a badge. Hopefully I can do it quickly so that you don't find it to be a big endeavor. I did want to quickly make the point that if you do download Skitch, I have a hot link on this page for you to go about and do that. And look at all these download buttons. It's so confusing. Do not click on the one at the top. Do not click on the one at the left. They're advertisements. Click on the one at the right. Okay, so I wanted to have all of my resources ready to go. So if you look down at my dock, you can see a dot under this heart. That means that Skitch is running. We'll talk about that in a moment. I use that to resize images. And I have access to clipart.org, openclipart.org, excuse me, in case I want to use any of those images for my icons, and I have the badge maker itself. And so here we go. I'm going to click on Build a Badge in the Open Badge Designer. And let's suppose that I wanted to issue a badge to students for surviving the winter of 2013 and 14 because it's been awful, to say the least. All right, that's what I'm going to build my badge, my fake badge for. It wouldn't be the greatest badge because it is pretty, it's not very concrete on what survival means, but hey, I could. So here's how we do this. You run from top to bottom. First of all, you need to pick a shape for your badge. And so you got these different options that you can click on to choose a shape. And so I am going to just pick up. I'm just going to touch that one, and you can see that it opens in your palette here. And suppose you want to have a different color scheme, you can click on the color palette, and or maybe we call this our canvas over there. All right, so now I got sort of a wintry color in there. You can put an inner shape in there. I actually usually skip the inner shape, but if an inner shape would be something like, let's just put a circle inside there. Yeah, like that. It looks all right. If you want to get rid of your inner shape or any other layer, you can click on this icon with the slash through it. Now, icons. This is fun. If you're going to level your badges, that is where things like the stars would come into play. So for example, if you have level 1, 2, 3, 4, you could use the star system or the number system. But there are a lot of other badges, or excuse me, ooh, this would be a good for leveling to the ribbons. A lot of different icon collections. There's food, there's nature, there's transportation, etc. So you can look through those. But now what I love is the fact that you can choose your own file. Okay, so that's generally what I do, and that's where I use Open cliparts. So if this is about surviving the winter, I need to find a good icon to put in there. And so you do a keyword search. I could do cold, I could do winter, I could do frozen. I'm going to start with winter. So that's my keyword search. I click on the search button, and I, lo and behold, get 9 pages of results. I don't know if you can tell that down here. Well, I started to look through here, and everything's just way too cheery for this awful winter until I got to page 5. I've already done this. And on page 5, I found the scary snowman. So I'm going to use the scary snowman for making of my badge. So I go on the scary snowman page. By the way, this is an advertisement over here, but this is the actual download button. I do not need this to be big. In fact, I kind of need it to be small. So I'm going to click on small image. And quite honestly, if I go back into my canvas here, I need it to be a lot smaller than that even. So this is where I use Skitch because that's the fastest, easiest way to make something super small. So here is what I do. This is my secret weapon. I hold down the control key on my keyboard because then if I click on the image, I can copy it. Copy image in that right click menu. So I do that. And then I click on Skitch, which opens the Skitch window, which just happens to bring me over to my other window that I have open. So I'm going to bop back over here. And this is the last thing that I sketched. But if I do a Command V to paste, then I get my scary snowman there. The beauty of of Skitch version 1 is that if you go to the lower right hand corner here and you click and you just drag it, you can resize this thing ever so quickly. And I just got to resize it, you know, somewhere around the 100 by 100. You can see the size over here. This is in pixels. Somewhere in that range. You'll get used to the size you have to reduce it to over time. And but that's about what I want to do to get it in my badge. Now, this I noticed that there's transparency in the background, which means that it won't have like a white box around it. That can only be maintained if I save it as a PNG file. So I'm going to change my file type to PNG, and then I'm going to give it a name. I'm going to call it Snowman, and then let's get Skitch back out there. You can just take where it says drag me and just drag your resized image right there so it sits on your desktop. All right, so now I can upload it to my badge. I hope I did it small enough. I may not have, and then that's a little trial and error right there. So I want to get it in there, so I click choose file in the icon area. I scroll down, I'm on my desktop. As you can notice here, I am going to go down to Snowman. Click open. Lo and behold, my snowman goes onto my badge. If I need to move him right or left, up and down, that is done with this utility right here. So I would have to drag this. If I drag it to the right, he goes to the right. If I drag him to the left, he goes left. And I think I might drag him up and down a little bit too. To the right, he goes down, and to the left, he goes up. I got to get him kinda, almost. Maybe a little bit more. Okay, so I'm going to put them there. And then lastly, you're going to want to put on a banner and text. You don't have to have a banner. You can. You can see that there's different types of banners. And so I will choose this one. And again, you can change the color if you'd like to. So I'm going to, let's see. I don't really like that, but yeah, let's go with the gray. That's not really gray. Let's go with a darker gray. That's not really gray. Let's try that one. Okay, there we go. And again, I want to move that farther down on my badge. And then I want to put in a little text. And I'm going to put in, I survived Minnesota winter 2014, 13, 14. Well, in order for that to fit on there, I'm definitely going to have to change and reduce my text size. And then I don't really like this font, so I'm going to put some, I'll choose, that's actually pretty good, but I'm going to have to make it smaller. And then I need to move it down to get in right in there. I survived Minnesota winter 2013 and 14. All right, that's how quickly I can make a badge. Oh, you can change text color as well if you click on this palette. So if you want to, you can do that. So once you have your badge, or if you needed to start over, you got your reset button. But once you have your badge, you click download badge, and it saves it in the perfect size. And it's going to be in my downloads folder. It's called, for me, it's called badge number 1 because I probably already downloaded a badge. And so this is like the second one I downloaded. But it is in my downloads folder, ready to be placed into my Moodle page. Hey, that was fast. That was easy. That was your Build a Badge workshop.